Hey, it's Brock from Straight Line Delivery, and I wanted to cover a topic that I get a lot of questions on. And I've been doing Hotshot since 2011, and I wanted to talk about tires. It's a it's a big deal. I've had a range of experiences because I've done some experiments because I was just curious to see what would last the longest. And I wanted to get right to it. That way, if you're in a hurry, you don't have to watch the rest of the video. But I'll explain my reasoning later on in the video. So if you don't want to hang out, here's my first choice for a tire after putting hundreds of thousands of miles on trucks. And it's right here. Check it out. Okay, this tire is a Bridgestone. And the reason I really like it for trucks is it's got a solid edge to it, a solid collar to it. You see, when trucks are being used, especially the front tires, when trucks are being used to haul a trailer, the back of the trailer can kind of bounce the back of the truck down, which lifts the front of the truck up. And so instead of the tires going straight, they kind of cup in. As the truck front bounces, they cup, and it creates kind of a stair-step pattern in the edge of the tire. So if there's grooves in the edge of the tire, like for traction, like you would find in a mud tire, then those get eaten up more unevenly than if they were a solid collar, a solid edge. So think of a semi front tire, a steer tire. Now, semis don't get the front end bouncing near as much as like a one-ton truck does that's hauling a trailer. But it's the same principle. A steer tire on a semi is just a bunch of straight, flat ridges that are, in a line. So they're turning sideways, they're bouncing up and down and cupping, so they get a lot more wear than, say, the back tires. The reason I like this tire is because it has that more solid kind of front edge. Now, it will wear. Don't get me wrong. It will cup, and when the truck is bouncing and the tire's cupping in as the front end's lifting on big bounces, it will cup. But it doesn't chew big chunks of rubber out of it. So it seems like it'll hold up a lot longer than something that won't. It doesn't seem like it. It does, because I've tried it. This particular tire wears really hard. It wears like iron, kind of like a Michelin tire. Michelin tires, they wear like they're made out of iron. They just last a long time. And what I have found with these is I can put miles on them until they start to cup out, until they start to get a little bit deformed on the edge too much. And then what I'll do is I'll move those to my back of my dually on the outside. The inside, here's what I have found. The inside's going to wear fastest no matter what. I've tried running less pressure in there. I've tried switching them out. It doesn't matter. That inside tire on your dually is going to wear out first. So I move my front tire straight back and my back tires forward. You can cross them if you want. I don't know that it matters that much. I've played with both. I don't see much of a difference. It doesn't make any difference. But those inside tires are going to be worn very first, okay? So to get the maximum amount of tire wear out of my setup, I take the fronts to the back outer, the outer ones to the front, and then when those inners wear out, I'll take the fronts back to the inner, and then I will put brand new ones on the front. That way my back four tires have all got about equal wear, and my fronts are the newest ones. Then when I need to replace tires, I buy 4 brand new backs and I start the process over again. Now, I've done a little experiment where I took, I think they were like Walmart tires. They were Mastercraft. They were junk. But I said, let me use this as a spare. So next time I get a flat, I'm going to pop this on and I'm going to see what I get out of it. It was just junk. I've also gone all the way up to Michelin's all the way around. And they did wear the best. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They did not wear out anywhere near as fast as anything else. But what I wanted to see, and I thought, well, these are my tires for life. This is what I'm going to do. I'm a Michelin guy. But what ended up happening was I found myself before I got the money's worth out of the tires, I was much more likely to get a hole in it or hit a pothole and have a belt break in the tire and have the tire ruined by that rather than wearing them out. So if you don't break a belt, if you don't get a hole in the tire, Michelin tires probably are going to last the longest. But what I found was the cost for Michelin's was so much more than the Bridgestones that it didn't equal out because of the experiences that I had with belts breaking and just getting a hole in the tire that eventually can't be repaired. Call it bad luck, call it whatever you want. That was just my experience. The Bridgestone Duravis is a nice, it's on the higher end, but if these are the cheapies and these are the Michelin's, Bridgestones are, you know, 3/4 price range. They last a long time. They do a good job for me, and I think they would for you guys too. Now, the next tire I'm talking about is for the trailer. I like to use a Bridgestone Duravis tire, and I'll show you a picture of it right here. Now, this tire for trailers, it kind of more resembles like a semi steer tire. And if you think about it, your trailer doesn't need as much traction as your truck. Sometimes you're going to use four-wheel drive, things like that. But the trailer tires, again, I've done both experiments with the cheapest ones I could find, and it wasn't that well, they did wear quicker. It wasn't so much the way they wore quicker as the way they wore. I would come home from a trip and there'd be chunks the size of a marble just missing, just rubber flying off of them. So I thought, okay, we can't go all the way cheapies. Then I went to the Michelin's. I went to some Michelin tires, and I had the same experience I did with the trailers, the truck. The Michelin tires just don't outlast tire damage enough to compensate for the price, if that makes sense. So unless you're driving on like really perfect roads all the time and you never run across any punctures and you never hit potholes, it was just a little bit too expensive for me to handle than just buying the Bridgestones. I also ran Transforce HT. Firestone makes a Transforce tire. It's a HT, stands for highway tire. That lasted a long time, and that's on the cheaper scale. Now the sidewalls do mushroom out and they kind of balloon out. They don't look as good. I think that may be the tire that came on the trucks years ago from factory, I think. And those did fine. They just didn't get that extra little bit of wear. So if you think of your downtime, your down day, and spending the money, if I'm going to stop and I'm going to work on a truck, I want to just knock it all out and be done with it. So if that can get me an extra 3 months of running without going to the tire shop for an extra, $200 for all 8 tires or something, then I kind of do that. So that's been my experience. I've been doing Hotshot since 2011. I've tried all sorts of different brands for spare tires and regular tires. But the Bridgestone Duravis series, the 250 and the 500, I think pretty much outperformed everything else, all things considered. Considering we're running in the real world, you are going to hit potholes. You're going to get strange punctures. I had a piece of metal, as big as my thumb, just go into a tire one time. On a scale, it dropped out of the truck in front of mine, and it just went right up to the trailer tire and punctured it. Unsalvageable. So when I think of stuff like that, and I think of some of the big potholes you can hit and break a belt and tire and make it a trash tire, I got to consider the prices, and that's why I go with the Bridgestone Duravis. If you guys got any value out of this, make sure you like it. If you want any information, I have information on how my company runs. We can send you an information packet. I'll leave my contact details at the end of the video. That was a mouthful. So contact me if you have any questions. Good luck out there.